auditory test to ensure that only competent people end up on the bench. The Vice President spoke at the weekend at a webinar with the theme, Developing an Institutional Concept of Justice in Nigeria, organized by the law firm of Chief Wole Olanipekun SAN. Sharing Osinbajo's view, Olanipekun also said appointment to the Court of Appeal should not only come through promotion from the High Court. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Pantami, says President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the ministry to organize virtual National Economic Council meeting. The minister disclosed this while commissioning 12 digital projects built by the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, and other agencies under the ministry. He said the presidential directive came after the 12th virtual Federal Executive Council meeting, also introduced by the ministry since the COVID-19 pandemic. Nigeria's First Lady, Aisha Buhari, has returned to the country after a trip abroad. Aisha confirmed her return on Twitter and Instagram at the weekend with a thank you message to Nigerians for their prayers and well wishes while she was away for medical treatment. The First Lady, who says she is well now and fully recovered, posted 2 photographs of her arrival, one with her entourage and plane crew members, and the other as she moved towards her car. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SARP, has sent an open letter to President Muhammadu Buhari requesting him to urgently revoke his assent to the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, also known as CAMA 2020. The rights group also asked the Nigerian president to send the legislation back to the National Assembly to address its fundamental flaws, including by deleting the oppressive provisions of the Act, particularly sections 839, 842, 843, 844, and 850 containing Part F of the Act and other similar provisions. The organization is also urging him to instruct the Registrar General of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Garba Abubakar, and Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN, not to implement or enforce the CAMA 2020 until the legislation is repealed by the National Assembly. The National President of the Nigerian Union of Agricultural and Allied Employees, NUAI, Comrade Simon Ancheba, has called on state governors to reduce the numbers of their political appointees and forfeit their security votes. He said it will make more resources available for investment in the agricultural sector, which will in turn create more job opportunities and improve the nation's economy. The NUAI chairman, who spoke with journalists in Ado-Ekiti, explained that more attention must be given to agriculture if the country is determined to build a strong economy. Comrade Ancheba said the current economic crisis being faced by the country was as a result of over-dependence on oil at the expense of other rich sectors, particularly agriculture. He also urged governments to waive or reduce taxes on agricultural implements and equipment to make agriculture attractive to youth. The All Progressives Congress, APC, has been declared winners in 14 out of 18 local government areas in Ondo State. 7 political parties participated in the exercise on Saturday. Announcing the election results on Sunday afternoon, Chairman of Ondo Independent Electoral Commission, ODEC, Professor Yemi Dinaking, said there was no contest in 5 local governments. Dinaking, who declared APC candidates winner of the elections in the 5 local government areas, said it was in line with the Electoral Act. He said he acted within the law, which stated that where there are no contests, any candidate validly nominated should be declared winner. Other local governments where the APC won were Esheodo, where Folawole Shibashi polled 29,360. In Akoko Southeast, the APC candidate Paul Adorujoye scored 14,174 votes. Barrister Gbenga Olaniyi garnered 24,238 votes in Akure South. Olamigoke Olatuase got 40,009 votes in Ilaje, while Akishuroje Temitayo got 13,250 votes in Ile-Oluji/Okebu. In Okitikupa, the APC candidate Akiniwa Igbekele got 34,721 votes. Akinsulure Ebenezer got 54,292 to win Ondo West. Chief Adegbegi Samuel garnered 48,742 to win in Owo, while Bankole Ogbeshetoye got 10,541 votes to win in Akure North. Other local governments where results were being expected are Akoko Northwest, Idare, Akoko Southwest, and Ondo East. Dinaking said results of the remaining 4 local governments will be announced by 7 p.m., after which certificates of return will be presented to the winners. KUFM News news continues right after this break. Stay with us, please.
Beautiful one, I call on you today.
Bless you.
This not the time of bless you. This is when we say coronavirus on the show itself for the world. Now time to use tissue paper or handkerchief. Take cover your mouth or nose when you cough or sneeze. This is not time to always wash your hand. Use hand sanitizer where it contain better alcohol. This is not time to give ears as in avoid me. Give me space to any person where they cough or sneeze. This is not time to protect yourself or neighbors from sickness. So if you notice anything, sharp, carry yourself or the person go hospital or call this number free of charge. You're not going to collect money for your hand. That is toll-free number for 080 00 26 7662. 080 00 26 7662. The first time going to bring this other number for 080 09 70 00010. Remember, say life now says coronavirus not a show for Facebook and person with their life. You carry face to this message from KUFM 2.7. We call on you today. Come feel this place today. Let your presence melt amongst us. Ocean divine.
Welcome back. The World Bank Ease of Doing Business report the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has warned police officers in Oyo State against complacency following the rearrest of the suspected serial killer, Sunday Shodipe. The suspect was rearrested on Sunday after he escaped from the police custody at Mukula Police Station in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. In a statement by the Force Public Relations Officer, DCP Frank Mba, the IGP directed that all hands must be on deck to bring the case to an end. A number of persons reportedly died on Sunday morning at MNN Enugu following a violent clash between security agents and members of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. The clash threw the whole MNA and environs into chaos and disrupted church services as worshippers of the various churches in the area ran helter-skelter to escape being caught in the crisis. An eyewitness account revealed that trouble started at about 7 a.m. when some police officers invaded the community secondary school MNA, where members of IPOB were meeting to disperse and arrest them. According to the account, the attempt was resisted, turning the encounter bloody. The Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, on Sunday denied discussing with Chevron Nigeria Limited over last Wednesday's sack of members, insisting that a 7-day strike notice subsists. NUPENG, in a statement on Sunday, said the nationwide strike would go ahead as planned unless its 175 members sacked through WhatsApp messages were recalled unconditionally before this Wednesday. It urged members across the country to remain on red alert and wait for further directives. The union made their position known in a statement jointly signed by the President, Prince Williams Akboreha, and Secretary Afolabi Olawale. Nigeria Senate Minority Leader, Senator Eyinaya Baribe, has described as criminal and very disturbing the closure of shops of Nigerians in Ghana by her authorities. In a statement in Abuja by his media advisor, Uchenna Awomu, Senator Baribe said that Ghana's action against nationals of other countries, particularly targeting Nigerians, points to state endorsement of xenophobic attacks. The minority leader regrets and describes as a willful belittling of sub-regional brotherhood and one that is in clear conflict with the ECOWAS protocol. Ghana's recent regulations, which stipulates that retail trade is the exclusive preserve of Ghanaians. Senator Baribe accordingly urged the ECOWAS to brace up and come clear in the prevailing circumstances. Indigenes of Apo, Akpajaya and Gariki communities, Federal Capital Territory, FCT, have sent a Save Our Souls message to President Muhammadu Buhari over plans to demolish more houses by the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCDA, without resettlement and compensation. A spokesperson of Akpajaya community, Reverend Tanku Danjuma, said this at a news conference in Abuja on Sunday to express dissatisfaction with FCDA's policies. It was gathered that over 134 houses were demolished in Akpajaya community on 15th of August by FCT Development Control to pay paved way for the construction of a major road network in the area. Danjuma alleged that claims by FCDA that they have been resettled and compensated before the demolition exercise were not true, adding that the resettlement process was still ongoing. A former emir of Kano State, Muhammadu Sanusi II, on Sunday reacted to the Nigerian Bar Association's withdrawal of invitation from Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai as a guest speaker at its 2020 conference. Sanusi was in Kaduna on a one-week official visit. The visit was the first to any northern state since he was dethroned by the Kano State government in March. The former emir, who was received by Governor El-Rufai at the Sir Kashim Ibrahim Government House at about 1 p.m., cautioned the body of lawyers not to allow the controversy to take religious or ethnic dimension. He described the NBA action as sad for freedom of speech. An early morning fire on Sunday gutted 14 shops and 16 kiosks at the Adeniji Adele Market in Lagos Island. The fire was said to have started at around 3 a.m. as a result of electrical malfunction in one of the affected shops. According to the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, a distress call was received around 3:13 a.m. and rescuers raced to the scene within 10 minutes. The said properties and goods were salvaged by emergency responders, including Federal and Lagos State Fire Services, Nigerian Police, and the LASEMA response team. Coming up in a moment in our business news, a study conducted by the World Bank samples business regulation in 190 economies across the globe shows that Nigeria has improved its ways of doing business. God's Love Orlando brings you more on our business news bulletin. Stay with us, please.
We not be God win yo. We not go for any other person. We not go for if we not be PDP. We not go for any other person. We not go for. Oh God, make you carry your ticket. Oh God, I say carry your ticket. Anywhere between day and day we go. Anywhere side we go. Oh God, make you carry your ticket. Oh God, make you carry your ticket. Anywhere between day and day we go. Anywhere side we go. Oh God, make you carry your ticket. Oh God, make you carry your ticket. Anywhere between day and day we go. Anywhere side we go.
Vote Governor Obaseki, vote PDP.
1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 600 billion, and the last kobo. Oh yes, we follow the money. It's all about the business and the business of business. The gains and the losses. The bulls and bears. The rise and falls. The risk and the satisfaction of seeing the last kobo rise to millions. On KUFM's Business News, the simple and complex jargons of business just make sense. Get the trending news on the morning market, forecast, investment opportunities, policy changes, and other breakout information on the ever-busy world of business. KU Business News, Monday to Friday on our news dawn, 6:30 to 7 a.m.
Good morning. The World Bank Ease of Doing Business report for 2020 listed Nigeria as one of the 10 countries with the most notable improvement. Doing Business 2020 study conducted by the World Bank samples business regulation in 190 economies across the globe. Out of the sampled countries, the report indicated that 115 economies made it easier to do business. Along with Nigeria also featuring on the list of the 10 economies that improved the most on the ease of doing business after implementing regulatory reforms were Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Togo, Bahrain, Tajikistan, Pakistan, Kuwait, China, and India. The report stated that these economies implemented a total of 59 regulatory reforms in 2018 and 2019, accounting for the 1/5 of all the reforms recorded worldwide. As part of reforms that contributed to Nigeria's improvements are getting electricity, enforcing contracts, and registering property. However, Nigeria reform was treading the path of Kenya. Nigeria, the nation with the largest economy, highest gross domestic product (GDP) in Africa, however, ranked 131 among the 190 countries included in the report. And the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) says it has earned $378.42 million from crude oil and gas exports in June 2020, rising by 184.18% from $133.16 million recorded in the previous month. In a statement in Abuja on the release of its June 2020 monthly financial and operation report, Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division of the NNPC, Dr. Kenny Obateru, disclosed that the NNPC earned 134.22 billion naira from the sale of white petroleum products comprising premium motor spirit (PMS), dual-purpose kerosene (DPK), and automotive gasoline oil (AGO) in the country in the month under review. According to Obateru, the increased receipt from crude oil and gas export in June represented a marked improvement in revenue earnings, apparently following the ease of the COVID-19 pandemic global lockdown and the subsequent increased demand and firmer prices for the black gold in the international markets. Given a breakdown of the export proceeds, he stated that crude oil export earnings stood at $230.65 million, while gas and miscellaneous proceeds stood at $75.97 million and $71.80 million respectively. He further stated that the NNPC earned $4.6 billion from the export of crude oil and gas from June 2019 to June 2020. In the downstream sector, Obateru said in order to ensure continuous supply and effective distribution of petroleum products across the country in June 2020, 1.34 billion liters of white products were distributed and sold by NNPC's downstream subsidiary. And finally, on business, the United States has slashed its imports of Nigerian crude oil to 9.37 million barrels in the first 5 months of this year, 11.67 million barrels lower than what it bought in the same period of 2019. The U.S. imported 21.03 million barrels of Nigerian crude from January to May 2019. This is according to data obtained from the U.S. Energy Information Administration (EIA) at the weekend. The highest monthly volume of Nigerian crude purchased by the North American country so far this year was 2.12 million barrels compared to 11.78 million barrels in 2019. Its purchases plunged by 63.03% in the first quarter of 2020 to 5.53 million barrels compared to the last quarter of 2019 when it bought 15.07 million barrels from Nigeria. According to the EIA, the U.S. bought 1.92 million barrels in January, 1.93 million barrels in February, 1.68 million barrels in March, 1.70 million barrels in April, and 2.12 million barrels in May. The U.S. has significantly reduced imports of Nigerian crude oil in the past few years as the oil produced its shale operations is similar to the light sweet Nigerian crude. Following the coronavirus-induced crash in oil prices and demand, Nigeria has been struggling to sell its crude oil cargoes. Prior to the lockdowns and collapse in crude oil demand caused by coronavirus crisis, the rise of U.S. shale oil was already proving uniquely challenging for Nigeria. And that's it on business. And now in sports, Kingsley Coman scores as Bayern Munich beat PSG to win UEFA Champions League title. Ego Sagbeka has more on our sports desk this morning.
PSG forward Kingsley Coman was the hero for German champions Bayern Munich after scoring the only goal as they defeated Paris Saint-Germain 1-0 in a tightly contested UEFA Champions League final in Lisbon last night to claim the title for the 6th time. Coman, who started his career at PSG, settled the tense affair with a 59th-minute header at the far post from Joshua Kimmich's cross after a goalless first half. It was a night of joy for Bayern manager Hansi Flick, who added the Champions League to the Bundesliga after initially taking over as interim manager from sacked Niko Kovac in November. In contrast, it was a night of bitter disappointment for PSG's two attacking superstars, Neymar and Kylian Mbappe, who failed to produce their best and found themselves frustrated by Bayern goalkeeper Manuel Neuer and man of the match, Manuel Neuer, when they had the best of the first half chances. And finally, UEFA President Alexander Seferin says it might consider revisiting the single-game knockout format in future seasons following its incorporation in this season's Champions League. Football suspension during the COVID-19 pandemic resulted in a revision of the club competitions format in order that it could be completed. Both the final series of the Champions League and Europa League from the quarterfinal onwards may head at neutral venues this month over a 2-week period. There were thrilling climaxes in the Champions League quarterfinals involving Manchester City and Lyon, Paris Saint-Germain and Atalanta, RB Leipzig's win over Atletico Madrid, and in the most eagerly awaited match, Bayern Munich trashed Barcelona 8-2. Seferin believes games have been less cautious and teams have been forced to go for goals because they have not been second legs. The current format cannot be changed until 2024-2025 season, although discussions are expected to begin later this year on the structure for the competition in that space. And that's sports news on KFM's News Dawn. My name is Egusa Aigbeka. Back to you, Charles.
Thank you very much, Egusa, for those sports stories. Well, I mean, the Champions League final was expected yesterday.
Yeah, it has come and it has gone.
And they didn't live up to expectations for you?
Yeah, Bayern Munich lived up to expectation because they were favourites to win the title. But the goals, I wasn't expecting the single goal. I expected a thriller, maybe 5-3-2, 5-3, 4-3, as the case may be, because they are both scoring sides and they are free scoring clubs. But the fact that it was a final, and you know, as a player, if you make one mistake, it could, change everything. So they were really, really cautious when the match started, and they were trying to be disciplined at the back. But one way or the other, you need to see how Joshua Kimmich, just took that ball. That pass, just divided the defense line of Paris Saint-Germain, and Kingsley Coman, who led for free from PSG when Neymar and Mbappe was bought for about 400 million euros, was the hero. And that was his first game yesterday. The manager had to start him ahead of Ivan Perisic, who later came on. But this is somebody who the Parisians allowed to go for free, scoring the only goal against this former club, and it's his sixth time they've won it. So for me, it was a huge run for Bayern Munich, and the fact that they won every game, becoming the first European team to win every game to the final of the Champions League, I think that was so massive for them. So it's not going to be easy for any other club to do it, go from the group stage to the final without losing or drawing a game. Come on, it's not really easy. So I have to give Hansi Flick thumbs up for doing that, because he came on in interim capacity and he had to deliver when he has won the Champions League, the DFB Pokal, and the Bundesliga. So what do you expect from a manager? Well, just like what Roberto Di Matteo did for Chelsea when he came on as as an interim, then he had to win the Champions League for Chelsea before he got a permanent deal. No, it did not last. But so far, so good. It was a fantastic final. It really won that. But Neymar, Mbappe, they still have to wait for more seasons to see if they can win the Champions League. But then, for them to have gotten to their first final, I think I'll say they had a successful season.
Thank you very much for that analysis. And of course, we come to the end of our package this morning. Congratulations to Bayern Munich, by the way. And of course, before we leave, a quick recap of the headlines. In this bulletin, we brought you the following stories. The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, wants aspiring judges to take tests. Aisha Buhari has returned to Nigeria, and a human rights group has asked President Buhari to revoke his assent to the Kama 2020 Act. Do remember that the continued unity of Nigeria is a collective responsibility. Be sure to play your part. Coronavirus is real. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water. Use your face mask while in public places, and stay safe. KUFM News Dawn was produced by Musakai Wadiai. I'm Charles Oppenham saying thanks for listening and good morning.